Welcome to the channel. So this video today is going to be about the Honeywell Home T3 programmable thermostat. This is a great little thermostat, very easy to use. It can operate as a manual or a programmable thermostat, and I will show you that in this video. I will be covering manual overriding, also factory reset on the actual device, as well as the setup menu, the advanced menu, which you want to know right off the bat when you first install this thing. Then part two will be just full-on programming of the thermostat to carry a schedule throughout the week. But part one is going to be covering just those three things I just spoke about: manual override, factory reset, and also the setup menu. So let's start off with explaining the factory reset, because sometimes you're going to want to know that first. So to factory reset this, you're going to have to go into the hidden menu, which by going menu and plus button together, hold it for like 5 seconds. Okay, this brings up your ISU, which is your advanced setup menu. We don't want that right now. This is the version of the software that's on here, or hardware. Now we have Restore Defaults as the third selection. This is what you want to do if you want to do a complete factory reset of everything. Right there, you would hit select, and now it's reset, as you can see. Now it defaulted back to the ISU menu. We're going to go back home. Let's do that again. Go back, menu and plus sign, hold it for 5 seconds, scroll back over. That was the factory default, factory reset, complete. And then if you scroll to the right one more time, you have reset schedule. And now reset schedule is only going to be covering, obviously, if you had this thing programmed, reset the schedule only to factory defaults. It's not going to do any of the other resets that's done in Restore Defaults, which I just previously did. So that's good to know. Sometimes you might want to just reset your schedule and not the complete unit, because then you have to go back in and make all those adjustments in the ISU settings, which I will be covering at the end of the video. So those are the two options: Restore Schedule, and if we hit back, and Restore Defaults. Okay. Now, let's go back and show you. That's going to be how to factory restore. Now let's do a manual override. Now, there's two different ways of manual overriding this. Let's put this thing, pretend this thing was in a normal schedule, following a schedule as you see it here. So we're in heat. Now, we can go ahead and turn off the programming by going into menu, like I just did. Go to menu, hit where it says program. We're going to go on or off. So we want it off. Save. So now if we go back to the main display, it does not say following schedule anymore. That's completely gone. Now it's operating as a manual thermostat. Now you can manually adjust the set point, and it will stay like that. It will not change. Nothing will change this now. It's going to act as if it was a manual thermostat, not programmable. And you can switch between heating and cooling. Same thing. It's still a manual thermostat. So then the second way of manual overriding this is, majority of the time, the first way you're going to stumble upon this is the opposite of what I just did. So if we go back to menu, hit select on program, go to the on selection, select. Now go back to the main display. Now you see it's trying to follow a schedule like it was previously. So the other way of manually overriding is either using temporary hold or permanent hold, which is this button right here. So temporary hold is only going to hold the temperature set point that you just you just selected here as the top number. This here is the ambient room temperature. So this is the set point. This temporary hold is only going to hold it to the next time period. There's 4 periods on this thermostat when it's programmed. So it's a temporary hold to the next period. Once you do, say, this permanent hold, this is a consistent hold indefinitely. Until you come here and change it yourself, it's going to hold this set point that you just put in here. So that's the other more permanent way of doing a manual override. So as I just showed you, one way is completely turning off the programming, and the other way is kind of dealing with the programming and just kind of manually overriding and doing a permanent hold or a temporary hold, depending on how you want to do it. It's flexible like that. So let's go in there. And next, I want to show you the basic setup. So the basic setup... Oh, let's get out of this. So back to this menu. We have program, time, date, and Fahrenheit and Celsius. Those are the very basic kind of setup things you want to do. We want to take care of this when you first install the thermostat. So we're going to keep it in Fahrenheit. Go back into the menu. We're going to cancel the hold because it keeps on coming up. So let's go back into this here. So we want to set the time, 12 hours, 11:05. Sure, let's do that. Save. It's very important to save your time, get the actual date and time, and that way this thermostat will work properly for you. Date, same thing. Go through and actually put in the proper date. And that right there is your basic menu. Now let's go into the advanced menu, the ISU settings, which is very important to know. I have done a separate video completely on ISU settings, and each one of them, there's a long list of them depending on which thermostat you have. This T3 is not going to have the more elaborate setup that you would in, like, say, a T6 or a T10. But let's go through what we have here. Okay, so once again, press menu and the plus sign to get into the advanced menu. There we go. So now we have ISU, as you see from before, version, restore defaults, and restore schedule. Now we want to go back to ISU. Hit select. Now here we have a bunch of numerical values. This is your ISU number and this is the option. Now as you scroll through here, you will see that, whoops, let's leave that at where it was. As you hit select, it's going to scroll through the numerical value. These all mean something. So let me show you this booklet right here. I will describe really quick what they are. So number 120 is scheduling options. So that's 0 for non-programmable. That's also another way to go manual. And 1 equals 1 week programming. So the whole week is the same. 2 is a 5-2 schedule. So 5 days and a 2-day. Separated in 2 separate blocks programming. And that's all this does. Then 125 is temperature indication scale. So 0 is Fahrenheit and 1 is Celsius. 200 is heating type system, or heating system type, I should say. And that's 1 equals conventional forced air heat. 2 is a heat pump. 3 is radiant heat. 5 is none, cool only. 205 is heating equipment type. 1 equals standard efficient gas forced air. 2 is high efficiency gas forced air. 3 is oil forced air. 4 is electric forced air. 5 is hot water fan coil. Number 7 is for a heat pump, and it says air to air heat pump. The next section is for radiant heat. It says 9 equals hot water, radiant heat, and 12 is steam for that selection, for that option. Over to the next page, we have 218 is reversing valve O/B, and 0 equals 0, and 1 equals B. 220 equals cool stages / compressor, and that's 0, 1, 2. 221 heat stages, backup heat, heat stages 1 or 2, and then backup heat stages 0 or 1. 300 is system changeover. 0 equals automatic and 1 equals, 0 equals manual and 1 equals automatic. 425 is smart response. 0 equals no and 1 equals yes. So this will basically turn on your system earlier to achieve the desired set point. I usually just turn this off. And then 711 is air filter 1 replacement reminder. 0 is off. 1 equals 10 runtime days. 2 is 20 runtime days. 3 is 30 runtime days, and so on. And the last one, the last one is 1415, and it's daylight savings time, and that's 0 for off, 1 equals on. Okay, so I have a separate video that goes into depth when it comes to ISU options, and it's a longer list that covers all the Honeywell thermostats. So if you want to check that out, if you have any other questions, I will provide better screenshots than what I just did here. So check out that other video. I'll keep it linked in the cards. But here we go, guys. This is the T3, great thermostat. I've covered all the basic stuff, you know, your manual override, factory reset, and your advanced options. Got you aware of it. If you want to check out further information, go ahead and check out my other video. But now we're going to go ahead with part 2, and that's going to be a separate video. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I break it down so it's easier to digest, and so it's not as long. So thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please go ahead and do so. And thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.